Hello, gentlemen. Welcome back. I am Naz, your dating coach, and today's video I want to talk about why do you guys go for younger women and how it is almost a form of self-sabotage. And I think it is important to talk about this because I hear about this so often. And so I really want to get into this. So if you are interested, then keep on watching. So let's first get into the first point. So my first point about this is, why do you men find younger women? Um, Even though, and not just like a couple years. If you're usually, honestly, this starts a little bit later. So I would say 40. If you're in your 40s, you usually go for women who are like, not all men, okay? Don't get don't start cursing me out. I'm not talking about all men, okay? But there are some men out there, more than some, that will go for younger women, which is probably 10 years younger, 20 years younger, even 30, 40. It's insane, okay, how young men go, how men would choose a younger woman, okay, over an older woman. And there are so many reasons that I hear all the time. Older women have emotional baggage. Older women are, they're so boring. They don't do anything fun, which is like, it's so funny because the woman that I speak to tell me the same, tell me the exact same things about older men. So it's like you both are saying the exact same thing. So there's obviously a disconnect, okay? Because I speak to women who are older, they're excited, they have an exciting, fun life. And then I also speak to older men that have an exciting, fun life. So it really doesn't have to do with older, younger. None of that matters. This is about yourself, about your beliefs. And so one of the reasons why men, I'm sorry guys, I'm going to call you out because it's not to shame you or anything, but I just want you to become aware of this pattern and the reasoning behind it. So if you are somebody that is maybe currently dating a woman who's a little bit younger, not a little bit, but maybe like 10 years and over, I want you to just ask yourself these questions and just to get aware. So the first thing is, whenever you're dating a younger woman, it's easier to avoid emotional accountability. Okay, so younger women, it's a fact. I was this person a couple years back. We're often less emotionally mature. Okay, so they don't push men to deal with their baggage or emotional issues. Usually, younger women, because they're young, they have not faced themselves yet. It's all about the external stuff for until you're 30, and then shit hits the fan. Things happen. You get a divorce, and then you're like, shit, I need to get my shit together. Well, I said shit a couple times. I'm gonna get. Anyways, and also, men get away with shallow connections and avoid real intimacy, which feels comfortable. This is what us as human beings tend to do, is we like to be comfortable, because if we're not comfortable, then we're not safe, and if we're not safe, then our human existence, what is it? We don't survive. That's just how genetically we are. We live in tribes, so we can stay safe, we can be comfortable, and that's just in us. But it is important to not bring that into your relationships and then, connect with the wrong women just because you want to stay comfortable, okay? Because that's not going to lead you down to finding your soulmate. Now, the second point of this is that it boosts your ego, okay? And you get instant validation because you have like this beautiful, young woman beside you. She's going to compliment you. She's going to give you a sense of feeling desired and all of those things, which any human being craves, right? But it's just easier for you to get that because you're with a younger woman, and she is, well, if you're older and if you have money, then that's another whole different dynamic, which for most it probably is. And she's getting her needs met because you're paying for her bills, and then you're getting your needs met by the sexual intimacy and attraction. Well, probably not intimacy, but sexual sex. And so whenever you're in this kind of relationship, you feel like you're in control because you feel like you're more influential, you get validated. Like she's like, wow, you're so smart, you're so intelligent. And you feel like you're the prize, and so these are important things to keep in mind because, so many of us men tend to just attract a relationship or attract a woman, just stay in it because she makes you feel good. But unfortunately, it's only for the time being. It's only temporary. It's not forever. There's no longevity there. It's superficial. And the last part of this is they won't call you out on your bullshit, period. Younger women, typically are less likely to challenge a man's behavior. They're not going to call you out on your insecurities. Hey, you didn't pay attention to this. They're not going to get into that. And men love that because men hate to be nagged, right? Men don't like to be told what to do. And so that's where the relationship stays, right? I guess it goes on, but not for a long time, because then eventually you figure out that this woman actually is not supporting me. She doesn't care for me. She doesn't nurture me. She doesn't have, I'm not saying all women need to do this, but part of being in your feminine energy is to support your man, right? Is to make him some yummy food, to see, okay, I'm not saying women are meant to be in the kitchen, but you know what I mean? Like as a woman, you really want to care, you want to nurture the man. So, this goes both ways. But as a woman, that is what we're made to do. We're made to build a home, nurture the family. That is genetically just in us, to give, to eat last. It's not like something we think about. It's just naturally in us. And so when you're dealing with a woman that is emotionally unavailable, that, is a little bit younger, because most young women have not connected to themselves in that way. They're not going to support you in the way that you want to be supported. And then eventually going to feel alone. You're going to feel lonely in the relationship. You're going to be like, oh my God, I have a house, I have a car, I have this beautiful woman beside me. But there is something that is missing. What is this piece that is missing? And this is it. There's no depth in your relationship, in your connection, in your bond. She's not your soulmate. Because you went more for the look. This also means that when you're in a relationship with a young woman, you continue to avoid growing emotionally while feeling comfortable, in this superficial connection. So it's almost like a facade. You're not really being authentic. You're not being real with yourself or her. And so one of the reasons why this happens is because you're not honest with yourself. And she's most definitely not honest with herself because you both are mirroring each other back. You guys are the same human being, right? You guys have connected because there is something, because you are her and she is you. You both are lying to yourself. But if you're with a woman that values herself, values her time, that's not going to accept less than she deserves, she's not going to be in a relationship, with a man who's not really, connected to himself. And so the other point of this that I want to make, the last point, is that men connect through sex, right? That's why usually it's the man that will, ask the woman to get intimate. He's the one that kind of initiates usually. And a woman will connect deep. The deep connection, deep bond happens, of course, through sex. But if there's sex, but there's no emotional connection, then it's going to fizzle out. It won't last, because then if it's just sex and the emotional connection, that is just lust. So the relationship, the foundation is based on lust, on just sex. And so basically you're building a home on sand. And what happens? So the house is going to sink because it's not solid. The foundation isn't solid. And so, the thing is, when you have sex with a woman, you feel close, you feel connected to her, but it is very superficial and it is very short-lived because it's not real. It's a fake. And this often leads to feeling empty. We know what happens here. I'm sure most of us have been through this. I have been through this before. And again, as I mentioned before, whenever you're in a relationship with a woman like this, someone who's just not connected to herself or connected to you, because you're not connected to yourself or her, that means that there's no support, there's no nurturing. It is just merely existing. You both are just roommates. She's getting her needs met, you're getting your needs met, and that is basically the definition of the relationship. And sometimes, men live in la la land. I spoke to this, but I was talking to him, this man, and anyways, this is a whole different story. He was telling me he was cheating on his wife, but he's like, I want to have my cake and eat it too. Like, why can't I do this? And we, like, as men, a woman, but like all of us, I believe, are the same, men and women. But, we sometimes live in this like la la land, like fantasy world, So without this, deep emotional work, that this avoidance that you're having, this resistance, which a majority of men have, this is where the work happens. Think of life. I always think of life. We're not here on vacation. We're here to learn things. We're here to expand our soul. And so when we believe we're here just to pay a mortgage and just to, pay for our kids to go to school and then retire and then die, if you think that is why we're here, that is the problem. We're not here for that. We're here to really, well, first of all, there's a lot of things, but, help people, service, all that kind of stuff. But we're here to expand our soul. We're here to become bigger than we came here into this world. And so, and also just become more aware, awareness, being more conscious beings. So all of those things it happens only when you do the deep emotional work on yourself. And I know men are going to hate hearing the word emotional and work at the same time, because you're not programmed. Nobody wants to do this work, right? Because if everybody did this work, then we all would have soulmates. We all would be in love. We all would be happy. Nobody would be complaining about dating apps. But this is the work that needs to be done, period. Like there's no other mathematics. There's no other research. This is it. Emotional work on yourself. I really hope that this video does give you some sort of insight on why, or maybe just for you to become more aware of your pattern. If you do feel like you're dating younger women, that your needs are getting met, or you feel really empty inside, there's a reason for it, and there's some sort of avoidance within you. You don't want to confront a part of you. So if you feel like you are, facing this sort of challenge, please connect with me. I'm here to support you in this. And if you guys have any more questions, please put it down below, and I'll see you guys in my next video.